We have a real treat for you here, Crossroad Cues. This is a KQ, a vintage KQ that has been brought back to life in an excellent and tasteful way. So first, I want to give credit where credit's due. I want to thank our good friend, Mr. Gary Langley of Langley Custom Cues, for the complete restoration of this beautiful vintage KQ. Gary, of course, is an excellent cue maker from the great state of Indiana, just like us here at Crossroad Cues. Now, we're close to Chicago, of course. Gary's a little bit deeper into Indiana. He enjoys the great outdoors, by the way, but Gary, of course, is the cue maker that created the Nightmare Cues, endorsed and played with, signed by Mr. Keith McCready. The reason we had Gary restore this cue, David Kikel, the world famous David Kikel, only takes on certain jobs at certain times, and it's very, very, very hard to get a cue from David Kikel. And he's a great guy, obviously a very famous cue maker. In fact, our good friend Mr. Ted Brown up in Colorado is notably the only person right now that Dave will sell cues to. So we selected Mr. Gary Langley, one of only a couple of people that do our repair work here for us at Crossroad Cues. We also, of course, patronize Mr. Felipe because he does excellent work. But this cue right here, we originally purchased it and it rolls straight, plays really good, just like everything that David Kikel makes, but it just needed a day at the spa, if you will. The finish was bad, the wrap was really aged, so we sent it off to Gary, and Gary does a great job. Look at that finish. His finish looks like glass. Those are holly points, by the way. So you have 4 holly points going into what looks to be Cocobolo. First I had to kind of look at it. It could have been some type of an ebony, but I'm almost confident that that's Cocobolo. And the holly points, you just don't see those anymore. They're really indignant of a vintage cue. And if you notice, you've got matching natural veneers bordering the points. And then it appears to be that Dave went with some recuts. How cool is that? You can see the points within the points. Piloted 5/16-14. You've got the old school brown, almost burgundy phenolic at the joint and at the cap here, the KQ logo. Boy, I tell you what, everybody that gets a hold of a KQ either adds another one when they can to their collection or they just never let go of them. David's cues have always been known for the really good playability. He is an artist among some of the best cue makers in the world. This is more of a basic design, but even though it's simplistic, it's powerful on the table and really, really a neat, unique design. Those are holly, of course, as well too, with the large diamonds in the butt sleeve going into Cocobolo. Gary installed a really nice texturized brown leather wrap. Now, for those of you that like a lighter butt weight, if you like a lighter butt weight, and you've heard me say it before, I'll say it again, you can always add weight. It's hard to take it away. This butt right here is 14.9 ounces. 14.9, there's no weight bolt, so if you wanted to bring it up to 15 or 16 or whatever your preference is. Some people like the lighter cues, some people like the heavier cues. I kind of go back and forth with my cues depending on what I'm playing with and the balance point, but just like in the gym, it's hard to shed weight or take it away. It's always easy to add weight. Now, what's really interesting about this particular piece, I was able to find it, as I was saying, and it was just in need of a real restoration. I bought 2 of them. Now, you've seen the other day that I had this when it first came back. We were going to keep it in the private collection, but I just can't keep everything over here. It's tempting because David's cues play so good. The shaft is the original maple shaft, 13 millimeter. The shaft comes up at 3.9, and it's a 30-inch shaft. So you've got a 29-inch standard size butt, 30-inch Kikel shaft, And so this is a 59-inch total cue. Now, one of the other things that David has always been known for is the fact that he ages his shaft wood and turns it really slow. I read something one time that when Kikel was putting out more cues, the average age of the shaft that would come onto a cue out of the shop was over 10 years aged in the shop. Now, the reason I know that that's the right way to go, this shaft, as old as it is, it rolls perfectly straight. I'll show you. And that is the original shaft. Look at that. No variation whatsoever. Nice and straight all the way across. Very clean. This one is ready to go. We're going to let it go for only $17.50 plus shipping. $17.50 plus shipping. The shipping will be second day air UPS from our location here in Indiana. You just don't find older Kikels, or any Kikels for that matter, in the less than $2,000 price range unless you're dealing with a Sneaky Pete. So this is really, truly a good deal for you. And I'm excited for whoever gets this cue because it will be something that you will enjoy playing with. Thank you so much for taking a look. It will be on our website shortly if it makes it at crossroadcues.com. KQ by the world famous Mr. David Kikel, the Colorado cue maker.